Okay, for those that came for part 2, here we're going back through this report of this officer jumping in front of a car claiming fear of a life. Some shitty attempt to do a tourniquet. I love that statement. This kid, I'm liking this kid already, man. He's going out buying pizza with his friends to go watch a basketball game, and he cracks with a cop making some shitty. The Vincent stated that he did not recall seeing Daniel's white pickup when he was traveling on a highway. Stated prior to the parking lot, Wikipedia, he did not have any interactions with the white truck. Okay, so that shows it wasn't a road rage and that the truck wasn't chasing him and trying to pull him over. Either he wasn't doing it long, or he didn't get close enough, or it didn't go on very long, and Daniel did all this because he saw the guy pass him and he got pissed off. Maybe this didn't go as long. I don't know. Maybe the video footage will clear up some of these questions. Interaction with white truck. When asked how fast he was traveling on a highway, Vincent said, "It's not like I'm breaking the sound barrier. I wasn't going that fast." That's a good answer. Don't admit that shit. Vincent stated that his vehicle has a dash cam camera, but he forgot to put the SD memory card in it. Damn, dude. That might be a good thing because it didn't have your speed. At the conclusion of the video interview, detective, forensic, blah, 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 seized his clothing. He then signed an authorization for release of his medical records and later seized the projectile. Man, I'd want that projectile back. If I got shot, I want the bullet, okay? Call me kind of weird, but I want the freaking bullet if they pull a bullet out of me. If I'm alive, if I'm dead, you can have the bullet. Otherwise, I want the bullet. Detective Andrew turned over the projectile. Sergeant Brooke, Corporal Schwartz. Damn, there's a lot of corporals and sergeant interviewed. Okay. Present for the interview was Jack Greco's father. Okay. Greco stated he was seated in the rear passenger seat of the Audi, operated by Vincent, also occupied by his brother. Stated that they were at Walmart, center of New England Shopping Center. Stated they got onto the highway, traveled north. Greco stated that he was traveling on the highway, is focused on his cellular phone. Shocking. This kid already has credibility. I know he's telling the truth. When a kid tells me he's in a car and he's on his cell phone, I believe him. And he described the ride on the highway as normal. Of course it's normal. He sped, he passed a couple vehicles, and he drove. I mean, big freaking deal. Kids being kids. Nobody got killed until government got involved or tried to get killed. Greco stated there was no interaction with the white truck while traveling. Good. That consistent and cooperates the other guy so that we have good cooperation between these two. Greco stated that he exited the highway, pulled in the parking lot. Wicked Pizza stated he pulled in the parking lot, observed the truck pulling close next to the Audi. Directed Greco to draw what he observed. Greco stated that he observed the driver of the truck, Daniel Dolan, in front of the Audi. So by having people draw things sometimes, you can compare the drawings, or it gives you a good... I mean, when you have a video, and if I have a drawing, I can look at the video and tell if the guy did the drawing, remembers it correctly or whatever. Remember, when you're in a high-risk stress situation, anytime you go in a fight or flight or life or death situations, you lose your ability to remember shit. Memory is not important when you're fighting for your life. And our little survival lizard brain, when it goes into, holy shit, I gotta survive, memory is not important. So our memory is sometimes either lost or distorted, time distortion. Things start happening when you go to that fight or flight. Now, just because the kid was in the back seat doesn't mean he wasn't in fight or flight. When bullets start flying at your car, when you're in the car, you're in fight or flight. He observed the truck pull close next to the Audi. Said he drawed what he observed. Greco stated that he observed the driver of the truck in front of the Audi, and we were driving backwards. Stated he observed Daniel Zan to be very angry. I agree. I think this is a great narrative on what he used there. That's a good term. Stated that Vincent backed the vehicle out of the roadway. Daniel followed them into the road. Again, not in fear of his life, following a vehicle. Joseph stated that he heard Daniel say, "I'm going to shoot you," and then observed Daniel shoot. Good. That's a good statement. Stated that he did not see the gun until after Daniel yelled he was going to shoot him. Greco stated that he observed Daniel Dolan on the driver's side between the driver's door and the rear passenger when he shot the vehicle. So he didn't say that he saw him jump on the hood or whatever. Maybe not yet. Let's see. Stated after the shooting. Yeah, so he never got in there, that he was on the hood, jumped on the hood, etc. Pulled the vehicle over at Big River Spirits, got out of the car. Greco stated that Daniel had followed them. Greco stated he could hear yelling to Daniel that he had been shot, asking for help. Greco stated, what if he's going to say he put a shitty tourniquet on too? Joseph Greco stated that while he was on the phone with 911, he observed Vincent talking to Daniel. Greco stated he observed Daniel wrap something around his arm prior to the arrival. And he never observed Daniel present a badge. Oh, that's good. He never saw it. He was in the back seat. Although the driver already said he saw the badge. Sergeant brought Corporal Shorts present for the interview. Vincent said he and his brother, I'm sure it's going to be about the same, seated in the front passenger, so this guy was in danger and could have been killed too if he missed him. Vincent Greco stated they went to Walmart, picked up some food. They entered south of the highway. When asked about what occurred on the highway, I usually have the music. I was just looking at my phone to find the right song. Vincent stated that these kids on their phones are going to watch a basketball. These kids are obviously menaces to society and a danger to the public. I mean, it's not like they're out at a peaceful protest burning and looting. These kids are going home after stopping at Walmart to have a sleepover and watch a basketball game and get shot by the friendly neighborhood police hero. What the hell? I'm looking at my phone traveling. Let's see. Good Songs stated Vincent was traveling approximately 70 miles an hour. So he's saying he was going 70 at a good pace. Yeah, okay, he was speeding. We get it. Denied that Vincent overtook any vehicles. I don't know if he overtook vehicles. I mean, it sounds good. If the cop wants to make it sound like it was more serious, he could just make up that he was passing on the lane. Maybe these kids did it. Maybe they didn't. They didn't ask the first kid, did you ever pass or pull over? These kids should have been asked standard all questions. How fast? How do you know how fast? Did you see his speed limit? Was he swerving in and out of traffic? Did he pass oncoming traffic? Was he driving reckless? Did anybody scream or honk their horns at you? Or did he say that he was avoiding accident? What was the driving pattern? All these guys should have been asked the same question to compare their answers. But, you know, the corporal and the sergeant and the major and the lieutenant obviously, you know, were sleeping or eating donuts during the freaking interview portion of the academy. I was looking at my phone, approximately 70 miles an hour, denied overtaking vehicles. So they asked if they overtook vehicles. Stated there was no interaction with the white truck. Greco stated that he then exited Wicked Pizza. He observed the white truck pull next to them. Stated that he observed the man down who decided was angry. Good. We have two guys saying this guy was angry. He was freaking angry. He was pissed. He just had his beer. You interrupted his beer. He couldn't finish his sip of beer. He had just got working with spoiled kids all day as a school resource officer, and he was going to take out his freaking anger with his government gun and government authority on somebody, and you kids just happen to be it. All right, come up to their vehicle. Greco stated that he observed the badge holstered in the gun, approached the vehicle. I'm surprised none of the kids said, yo, man, I said he's got a gun. Let's get the hell out of here. None of that was said in these guys' statements. I would have been asking, when you guys saw a gun, nobody said he's got a gun. Nobody communicated that it was a threat. Nobody communicated, let's get out. I mean, why aren't they questioning these kids trying to get some answers? Stated that he could hear Daniel yelling, stop. Nobody said he yelled police. Vincent Greco started that Daniel then walked around on the driver's side of the car, showed his badge again, and then fired his gun. Again, nobody said he jumped on the hood of the car, but they got palm prints. So we'll see. Greco stated that the Audi was in the parking lot facing, it should have noted that Greco's recollection of the event was conflicting. At one point, Greco stated the Audi drove forward prior to the shooting. Vincent was agitated because he just got drove at. Ooh. So Vincent said Greco stated that Dolan, the angry cop, was agitated because he just got drove at. That helps the cop instead of the kid. Vincent Greco stated that after the shooting, Dominant Vincent drove the vehicle down the road and stopped. Greco stated Dominant then exited his vehicle and was on the side of the road. Greco said he observed Daniel remove an item from his vehicle, wrap it around his arm like a tourniquet. Like a shitty tourniquet. I like that kid. Vincent Greco stated that Joseph Greco then called 911. After providing statements, Joseph and Vincent gave written consent for investigators to examine their cellular phones. See, I just don't think you ought to be cooperating with the cops. Could they have seized those phones? They probably could have. But if they seized them and they found something that was unlawful seizure, it can be suppressed. Since you gave written consent for them to go through it, if they develop any crime whatsoever, if they're going through your phone and you took a picture of a girl and her skirt happened to be a little high and you could see part of her buttocks, they could get you for child porn or for lewd acts because you gave them written consent. Don't cooperate with the police. It will only be used against you. This was a bad move by the parents and the kids, but I guarantee you the parents are like, hey, my kids didn't do nothing. Yeah, give them the phones. We don't care. We didn't do anything wrong here. But that doesn't matter. Government is always looking for a crime, and if they can get you for a felony while they're looking for your phone, now it deters from your statement. It deters from everything. And since they're investigating a cop, they would love nothing more than to make all you guys look like criminals to make you have less credibility. Don't give the government any help in screwing you over. All right. Sergeant Brock, Corporal Swartz, interviewed Jack. Present at the interview was Jack's father. Who is Jack? Jack Bellin stated that he was an employee, at the Vincent. Stated that he was taking a pizza out of the oven when his coworker, Bobby, drew his attention to the parking lot. Yo, Bobby, man, there's some crazy guy. There's going to be a fight. Check this out. Drew his attention to the parking lot. Jack stated that he stood in the doorway of the restaurant, opened the door. That's when the door opened on the video. This is corroboration that what they're saying is true. Observed a man, Daniel Dolan, with his hand on the hood of a black car. It stated that Daniel was trying not to get hit. Ooh. So this is a good statement for the cop. It looks like Daniel, the cop, is trying not to get hit. Well, that's what the kids saw. If he was trying not to get hit, he wouldn't have moved in front of the vehicle where people get hit. If you're trying not to get hit, you don't go in front of a vehicle. If you're trying not to get run over, you don't go play on a highway with speeding cars coming by. Okay, I was trying not to get run over, so I went on a highway and played. Really? That's inconsistent, people. Jack described the black car as trying to leave the parking lot. No shit, I'm running from a crazy guy with a gun and a badge. And was moving forward when he observed Daniel David with his hands on the hood. And I know exactly what this cop was doing. You better stop. Don't you fucking go forward. I'm fucking about. We don't have any of the context on what this guy was saying. But I guarantee you, his hands are on the hood. He's not saying, please, kind citizen, cooperate with me. I just want to talk to you about your speeding. That was not being said, people. As much as every statement is going to make it look like Daniel was cool and collective and was just trying to do a public service by telling these guys to slow down. Daniel Dolan moved in front of the vehicle's passenger, stated he briefly looked away and then heard a pop. He stated he looked back, observed Daniel holding something black near his waist. He was reholstering his gun, probably. Jack stated he believed the item was a gun, and the other pizza restaurant owner ran out of the back of the building. During the interview, Jack provided investigators with a sketch drawing. So we have a lot of sketch drawings here, which is good. On June 24th, I drafted a search warrant for the black Audi and white Ford. So they must have impounded both cars. Because getting a search warrant after the incident or after the people drive away with the incident is too late. They're going to destroy evidence, clean, etc. I mean, maybe they let them drive it away and maybe got search warrants so they go back and search again, but that doesn't make sense. If I got plans on getting a search warrant to search a car, I want to seize that car and control that car while I get the warrant. I don't want to let it drive away, have the person go clean it out, remove shit, put more shit in, and then by the time I get my warrant, any evidence could be gone or less likely to be there. It could have been cleaned up, contaminated, etc. Let's see. The warrants were reviewed and signed by magistrate. The search warrants later executed on the vehicles, and the forensic unit see additional information. I then reviewed the video footage of the highway cameras and examined the video footage revealing at June 23rd, approximately 8:01, a black Audi passed the white Ford on. Oh, so he passed him. The black Audi appeared to be traveling at a high rate of speed. Okay, he was speeding, right? At approximately 8:20, the black Audi exited exit 6. See, again, 6 is 6A, so most exits are pretty close. It'd be nice to know if somebody said, if a cop with a brain cell was writing this report so I wouldn't have to ask this freaking question, it'd be nice to say exit 6A is approximately 0.8 miles from exit 6 or 0.4 miles from exit 6. That might be helpful, you freaking lieutenant, captain, major, whoever the hell is taking this statement. The black Audi appeared to be traveling at high rate of speed approximately 8:02. So we know if he passed here at 8:01, it was 1 minute from 6A to 6. So we know it's 1 minute. We just don't know the distance, and we can't freaking form a conclusion without knowing the distance. Now we have to go back and measure it. See, if I got this report, I'd be like, damn it. Now I got to go clean up this shit. I got to go out there and measure this exit and figure out how far the exits are and exactly where the cameras are so I can get the proper distance, and then I can do the distance into the time traveled, and then that way I can get an approximate speed. But anyway, the white Ford was observed exiting exit 6 approximately 18 seconds after the Audi. So he was 18 seconds behind him. So if the Audi was speeding at a high rate of speed, then the white truck had to be going at a high rate of speed. I mean, that's just common sense. No, Rick. The white truck was driven by a cop. He was going to speed limit, doing everything right. Oh, okay, I got it. I forgot. All cops are heroes. Detective Hernandez obtained 911 records of shooting in it. Examined 911 recorded there were 4 calls that were placed to 911 regarding the shooting. So this is after the shooting. Should be noted that 911 had no record of calls for erratic operators prior to the incident. That's good. If this guy was driving so fast and passing people on the right, why didn't somebody on the highway call in this? Maybe it didn't happen. No, Rick, the officer said it happened. We have to believe him because he's a hero and they'll never lie and they're here to protect and serve. We should give up our guns because they'll protect. Shut up, you freaking idiot. The 911 callers were identified as Joseph Greco. No shit, they just got shot at. They called 911. An unidentified female employee from a pizza place because all the employees weren't freaking working. They were looking out the window. Meanwhile, people are there waiting. Why my pizza freaking cold? And why aren't you making my pizza instead of staring out the window at some dumbass cop shooting some teenager who did not witness the incident? An examination of James Linden's call revealed the voices of 2 additional persons who appeared to have been witnesses to the shooting. An examination of David's call revealed a statement consistent with other statements to the investigators. See attached 911 audio recordings information. Alrighty? So we can't hear those. I'd like to have those. Canvas, the video surveillance footage of the center of New England. Detectives were unable to locate relevant footage. Means they found some footage, but they didn't locate relevant footage. Walmart, detectives were able to locate video footage at the Shell gas station. The video depicted a back alley traveling north, and seconds later, the white Ford. So the white Ford was chasing and pursuing this vehicle. Anybody that doesn't believe that is just freaking stupid. There's no way this cop keeps saying, like, oh, I just happened. You know, this proves that the guy was lying. He didn't just happen to pull into Wikipedia and see him over there. He was chasing him. Detective Andrews, a major crime unit, interviewed Hunter Scott, Lake Fire Department, stated he responded for a call for service, stated that it was 2 emergency technicians, lots of government to come and protect Sir. Hunter Scott observed a male gunshot wound to his left arm, stated that the firefighter Jason Sargent arrived on scene personal vehicle. Hunter stated that firefighter Jason Sargent, is he a sergeant or his last name Sargent, arrived on scene in his personal vehicle. Well, we got cops in private vehicles running around shooting people. Now we got freaking firemen and EMT running around their personal. What the hell? Upgrading the rescue status from basic life support to advanced life support. Hunter Scott stated Vincent was placed on a stretcher, loaded into Rescue 1, and was transported to the hospital. Detective Andrews, Major Corporal Sergeant Anderson, interviewed Jason Sargent of McClintock. Jason Sargent stated that he responded to the shooting scene in his personal vehicle. Why? What the hell is it with you government freaking employees? You think you're so important? Jason Sargent stated that when he arrived on scene, the first responding firefighter already had his arm bandaged. Jason Sargent stated that Vincent was placed onto the rescue and transported, informed that he was going to go get a pizza when a vehicle pulled in behind him. Sergeant that he tried to leave and was being boxed in. A person was yelling at him, displayed a badge, and shot him. Gee, that could be the statement of the freaking year for all cop encounters. What happened in the incident? A cop was yelling, he displayed a badge, and he shot me. That people ought to just freaking copy that statement, because that's going to be your statement sooner or later, the way these cops are running around shooting every freaking body. Everyone's going to be able to say that at some point here in America. Detective Andrews, Major Crime Unit. He was at the fire station when members were dispatched. Stated that they were originally asked to stage, and the reason why they wanted to stage because you got a shooting incident, you don't know if it's secure yet. But then proceeded to the scene. Stated they observed him sitting down on the guardrail holding his arm. We call that a clue. See, the fire department was like, hey, who are we here? Who's hurt? And then one of the firemen goes, hey, I got a clue. It's the guy bleeding holding his arm with the shitty sweatshirt tied around as a tourniquet. Gabriel Silva stated that he observed blood stains on sustained a gunshot. Stated the hospital staff later notified had sustained a broken arm. Same driver pulled that broken arm. The bullet hitting the bone probably saved him from going through and hitting vital organs. The badge threatened him. Let's see. Detective Major Tillman Restrepo, date of birth 94, Lake Fire Department. Damn. They interviewed all government employees. Dispatch reports scene, amount of blood. Okay, so this is all injury shit. I'm not really concerned about that. If you want to read it. Possession of a gun. Okay, who's this? Detective and officer interviewed Robert, who stated Wicked Pizza, stated that he was making a pizza. He observed a black car and a white landscape truck enter the parking lot. Robert stated he observed a male exit the white truck with his hand up in possession of a gun. Stated the black car began to back away. Approximately 4 or 5 seconds later, he observed Daniel draw his gun and shoot. Wow, this statement doesn't mention anything about him trying to get run over or hiding. Different statements from different people. Daniel then provided his badge, so he compared to scratches on the hood. So he probably had his badge so he could see it. Then when he put his palm on there, the badge scratched the hood. I wonder who's going to pay for that. I wonder if the kid will get billed for scratches on the hood. Oh, you know what? Probably Daniel is going to get a new shiny badge because this pesky citizen's hood scratched his. And the taxpayers can pay for that too. Swabbed a couple of comparisons on the swabs. Dolan stated she observed the vehicle, 2 vehicles, black Audi outside the liquor store. Stated that she stopped, collected a sweatshirt. She observed the sweatshirt to be torn and have blood on it. Prior, Amy Dolan turned over the sweatshirt. Oh, so Amy Dolan must be the wife, right? Did we get that? Amy Dolan stated. Where was Amy Dolan? Interviewed Amy Dolan. Amy Dolan stated, who's Amy Dolan? She was traveling home with her 3 kids. Oh, so Dolan has 3 kids. I wonder what he thinks if the cops would pull his kids over and shoot him in the arm because they disrespected him. I wonder if Dolan's view on things would be different if a cop shot his kid. She observed Daniel 2 police cars outside the liquor store. Amy stated she stopped to get Daniel's attention. So the wife's just driving by with the kids, evidently. So she didn't have really anything to say except after the fact. James Lennon stated when he passed Wicked Foods, he observed a black car aggressively backing out. Maybe the back car wasn't aggressively backing out. Maybe it was backing out as if it was running for something or fearful. No, it was aggressive, Rick. Okay, I got it. Parking lot. Daniel Dolan running over to the car, not fearful, not scared, running, chasing, pursuing the car on foot, jumping in front of the car, putting himself in danger so he can shoot the guy. Was signaling the car, trying to stop it. He observed the car pulling away, pushing into Daniel. Oh, so Daniel was pushed by the car. Oh my goodness, poor Daniel. It's a good thing he made it out okay and he was able to get his gun out and shoot a kid. Stated he observed Daniel backing away from the car, pulling out of the parking lot. James stated that the passenger in the parking lot, he observed the gentleman Daniel reach for the back of his shirt. He pulled out a revolver and he made 1 shot toward the car. James Linden stated, all right, let me get this straight. They seized a 40 caliber Glock handgun, and this witness said the cop pulled out a revolver. Okay, so this is a problem when you get these statements, and when you get witnesses. And remember, eyewitness testimony sends people to prison all the time. Eyewitness statement is inherently bad, skewed, and mistaken. They seized an automatic weapon with 1 round from an automatic, semi-automatic handgun, and this witness said he saw a revolver. Wow. James Linden, let's see, stated he was traveling observed the shooting. When he observed the shooting. So he actually saw the shooting. He saw the shooting, but he saw a revolver. I later became on a Facebook post news article about the shooting incident. The post was made by Megan. The post allegedly had that several months ago, Daniel Dolan conducted a motor vehicle stop while off duty under similar circumstances, leading to a shooting. The individual who made this post was later invited Megan. On Saturday, returned property of Vincent, cell phone, 2 pairs of sunglasses. On Monday, now this just gets into a chronological report on what you're doing. This is an ongoing investigation, so every day you do something, you write the time and date on what you did it. Okay, I usually put the time, but these guys didn't put the time. I would put on Sunday, June 26th, at approximately 19:30 hours, I did this. On June 28th, approximately 15:30 hours, I did this. Let's see. Dominic provided a verbal consent to his mother. The owner of the phone provided written consent to examine the cell phone. Observed the contact on a phone that was relevant to the investigation. On June 28th, incident report. Provided me with the phone and radio communications. I then obtained Rhode staples on phone communications around the approximate time. Later modified a corporal preliminary findings of the speed analysis of the Audi. So see, we're investigating the speed analysis instead of investigating the officer that shot some kid. This is about proving the kid was wrong. I guess you could say they're trying to corroborate the officer's statement. Analysis of the Audi. Ford captured on video footage. Corporal Kent informed me that the Audi speed on Route 95 was estimated at approximately 125, and that the Ford speed was estimated to be at approximately 75. Well, you can't follow a car at 75 that's going 125. That doesn't make sense. Corporal informed me that the Audi speed on Shell gas station was approximately 40 miles per hour, and the Ford speed estimated at 65. So at some point at the Shell gas station, the Audi, the kids were going 40 and the cop was going 65. It would have been nice if somebody would have put in here what the speed limit was in this area. But we did. I guess the cop did think that was important. Audi traveling at an average speed of approximately 110 between 6 and 6A. Okay, so and the distance was approximately 1.5 miles. Okay, so 1.5 miles traveled by 1 second. I guess they figured out it was 110. Stated that he estimated the Ford traveling at approximately 77 between exits. Wait a minute. You got a car going 110 and you got a cop going 77 and they get to the parking lot at the same time? Come on. Well, maybe he caught up to him when the car was going 40 and he was still going 65, breaking the speed limit. See, it's only important that the kid was breaking the speed limit. It's not important that the cop off duty in his POV running around shooting somebody was breaking the speed limit. That's not important. I obtained copies, Sergeant whatever, Sergeant Colombo, detective. She was traveling in a vehicle with her father and her girlfriend. They were seated in front. Dame Lena was driving. What the hell? They were traveling on Route 3. Current stated while traveling on Route 3, she observed Daniel chasing after a car. Whoa! So this is good for the kids. This goes against Daniel just saying, I happened to see them. He was chasing them. Chasing after a car. Daniel, maybe they're saying on foot. Chasing after a car in a parking lot. So he was chasing them. He wasn't fearful. Daniel was wearing red pants. I didn't think the cop had on red pants. Did he have on red pants? I thought they were pants. Huh. Stated that he observed a car trying to pull out, trying to get away, trying to get away, trying to get away. Daniel was chasing. Daniel was running. Stated that he observed Daniel pull out his gun while in motion and shoot at the car. Wow. She didn't say anything about him jumping on a hood or almost getting hit. Stated that Daniel was standing in the driver. Okay. I think we got enough conflicting info on, let's see. Good guy Pizza saw male Daniel who initially thought he was going to get hit by the car. As we were passing the pizza, there was a car that pulled out. The dude was like jumping right next to the car. And I was like, oh my gosh, that dude's going to get hit by a car. See, She says the guy's going to get hit because he's jumping around in front of the car. She sees the guy jumping around as the aggressor, as the fool, as the idiot, which he was. But the police want to paint this as he was a good citizen trying to warn this guy to slow down. Stated that he didn't observe Dan as he pulled out his gun while standing on the driver's side. So he pulled out his gun while on the driver's side, not in front when he was fearful. He didn't do it while he was in front of the car. He did it while he was on the side of the car. Rick, maybe he couldn't get it out. Was he in front? Well, then he didn't need to get it out then. If he didn't get his gun out till he was on the side, he wasn't in danger when his gun came out. Therefore, he drew his gun and shot his gun after the threat was over. I mean, this cop was dead freaking wrong on this incident. Catherine says she observed Daniel pull out his gun while standing on the driver's side window, traveling down the road. On Thursday, I interviewed Dr. Vincent sustained multiple fractures to the shaft of his upper left arm bone. Described his bone being multiple fractures. Domino stated that Dominic will be in a cast and will have no use of his left arm for approximately 6 to 8 weeks. Dr. Moore stated that Vincent will need approximately 6 to 8 weeks of physical therapy at the rate of 2 or 3 days per week. Who's going to pay for all this, people? Who do you think is going to pay for all this? You freaking pesky taxpayers will pay. It won't be Daniel paying for any of this, let me tell you. 3 to 6 months. On this date, Roll 11 Tornado requested a copy of the state police investigator. The entire report was turned over. So is this going to be an exhibit of the report? Exhibit number 4. Incident report. Corporal Mahoney. Wasn't Mahoney one of the guys on Police Academy or one of those police funny movies? Mahoney, was that the crazy guy with all the guns shooting everybody? Let's see here. On Wednesday, approximately so-and-so, trooper arrived at the scene, advised the scene was controlled. One subject shot in the arm. It was soon learned that the shooting occurred by an off-duty officer operating went pickup. The off-duty officer identified Daniel. Subsequently stopped with the vehicle. He blocked the vehicle. He didn't stop with the vehicle. He blocked him in and chased him, pursued him, cornered him. After both vehicles came to stop, the officer exited his vehicle. Black Eye attempted to drive away at some point during the... See, this is when you always get at some point during the application, you know that's where the bullshit comes in. We don't want to find out what really happened, and it looks bad if we say what happened. So we'll just say, at some point during the altercation, bam, the off-duty officer fired a round. Wow. At some point in the altercation. What the hell does that mean? That means I don't want to say the officer was a dumbass and jumped in front of the car. Both day late patrol following members responded to the unit. Look at all these freaking people that responded to this unit. Lieutenant, 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 sergeant, 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 corporal, 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 detective, 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 trooper, 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 trooper. You people think we don't have enough. Oh, wait a minute. Trooper, 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 trooper. 25 people from the state police. What the hell are these 25 people doing when they're not showing up at a cop shooting a kid in a parking lot of a pizza place? What the hell are all this government? This is one agency, people. There was 4 agencies that showed up to this. 25 people from the highway patrol. People were like, we need more government. Rick, cops are quitting left and right. Rick, we don't have enough police. It's so dangerous out there. We can't have enough police. Really? On one freaking call, you'll get 25 freaking cops? Are you kidding me? See, this is the shit that people just don't. Media won't show it. People won't talk about it. It's freaking ridiculous. That should be offensive to anybody paying taxes. That we have that much freaking government people with guns standing by for something like this to happen. Meanwhile, when we're not doing this, they're eating freaking donuts, sitting behind a desk, talking about how we need to raise the amount of tickets written because our stats are low, and if we don't write enough tickets, we'll lose people. That's what freaking happens. Outrageous. While waiting for roll eye and service unit crime scene, traffic was diverted. Of course you are, so you can make yourself relevant. All witnesses and identifiers were kept at the scene. Were they kept separate? Because you don't want witnesses talking about scene, because that's what witnesses do. Man, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. Man, yeah, I saw that. Oh, really? You saw that? I didn't see that. Now, when they give their statement, Now they remember what somebody else told them, and they're getting a statement, which is hearsay of another person. It's not really what they saw. So they said they kept them. They should have said they were kept separate and told not to talk about the incident until they were interviewed. That's what should have been done, but we'll see. The investigative trooper, you'd think with 25 officers, everybody could have just stood with a witness. But, Rick, they're busy, and the lieutenants, the three lieutenants had to tell the three sergeants what to do. And the three sergeants had to tell the four corporals what to do. And then the four corporals had to tell the three detectives what to do. And then the three detectives had to tell the four troopers what to do. Oh, I'm sorry. The 8 troopers, however freaking many there are. Jesus Christ. Man, isn't government great? If we only had more government, if we could just pay more taxes and give government more, they could fix all the problems. The reason we have problems, there's just not enough government. Freaking crazy. Minister standardized field sobriety tests. Members canvassed the areas. The tests were assessed, yielded negative results of impairment. Perfect. Was this on video? Did anybody happen to videotape this? Because I know when most troopers do DI, they put them in front of the car, so it's videotaped. Was this one videotaped? Doesn't say this. Gee. Probably just an oversight by one of the 14 troopers, 3 lieutenants, 14 sergeants, and whatever the hell else was there. Out freaking. Members canvassed the area, identify witnesses. Due to the unexpectedly long investigation required. Ooh, long. Very long. Very hard. Jurisdiction conversations required uniformed members providing traffic control. Safety used approximately 50 flares throughout the evening. So everybody wanted to get rid of their old flares and wanted to get new flares. So, hey man, we got a good scene. Let's throw out a bunch of flares and blind drivers driving by at the middle of the night so they can't see. And that way we can get flares and we can put all this pollution in the air. And then tomorrow we'll talk about climate change and how you people need to stop driving and how you have to buy electric cars because freaking government runs around with flares on freaking. I can't even believe they still use flares. Those things are so toxic. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. At 12, day patrols were clear from the scene. At 12 a.m. So that all the day patrol, that means all the day patrols got overtime. We needed 25 troopers just from this one agency till midnight getting overtime for this scene. Really? It's a freaking parking lot. I could have worked this scene with 4 people. Somebody block off the area, set me up an control point. I'm going to start gathering evidence and identifying when. I mean, Jesus Christ, really? Exhibit number 5. The donut shop with a sold out sign. That would be exhibit 5 for me. I put a big old donut, sold out. Anyway, what is this? Crime scene list. West Greenwich. What the hell is this? Is this how many cops were there? 1654, 255. What the hell is this? A donut count? West Greenwich. What the hell is this freaking list? Vincent 02104 behind passenger front seat. This must be notes that one of the officers was taking when he arrived. Exhibit 6. What's this? Daniel Dolan. I'm only on page 35. This report's 207 pages. A lot of the shit at the bottom is just going to be forms and stuff. So I'm trying to get to the meat. Horizontal gaze line. Okay, so this is the field sobriety test. Does it say it was recorded? It doesn't. On Wednesday, trooper responded to the scene. Wicked thing. I later contacted Daniel, asked him if he'd submit to a standard test, which he complied. I asked him if he wore glasses and contacts. He said no. Anything that affected his ability to tip his finger? He said no. I didn't explain. Okay. Sounds like he's doing a pretty good FST. I checked the normal pupil size, equal tracking, resting nystagma. Most Dillon pupils appeared equal in size. Well, if you had unequal size, that's normally head trauma. I'm not sure why you're looking for unequal pupil size. But anyway, but did not track smoothly. What? Pupils appeared to be equal in size, but did not track smoothly. That's a problem. Lack of smooth pursuit is part of being under the influence in a gaze nystagma. That's one of the things I'm looking for when I'm looking at your eyes, is lack of ability to track or smooth pursuit. Mr. Dillon displayed lack of smooth pursuit in both eyes. Wow. So that means it was jerky, which could be because he was in a critical incident, his heart rate's up, he's got a bunch of stimulus adrenaline in him, that might cause that. So, I mean, breathalyzer said no. Did they take a blood test to see if he was taking stimulants? My guess is no, they should have. I mean, we always took a blood draw when cops were involved. In California, where I worked, if a cop was in a shooting and we were doing a scene, we did a blood draw. The walk and turn test was administered, series of small tests. Mr. Dolan inspected, one-legged stand, position advised, yeah. At the conclusion of the test, I asked Dolan to submit the preliminary breath test. He stated yes. Mr. Dolan passed the test and yielded 0 content. Okay. Was this on videotape? No, it wasn't, because I didn't want you to know that I was lying in my report. Call taker, Trooper Patrick. Wikipedia, New Switch Road. What do you got? Party entered, Trooper, cleared. So this just looks like a bunch of bullshit from all the troopers getting freaking 27 troopers out there. What time they arrived and left. Vehicle, Audi. We don't have the incident, like shots fired or off-duty officer, one detained. Trooper, hospital, 9:35. Out on scene. Advise current status. Victim currently being treated. So this is the trooper showing up afterwards. Not a lot of shit here. This is just going to be what's being typed or put over the radio. Exhibit number 8. Police report, incident report from West Greenwich. 28 hours, I Sergeant and Officer Problem were dispatched to the area. 911 calls, I've heard 2 vehicles, an Audi parked. You should be getting a good picture on kind of what went on here. The operator laid down. I observed both operators' vehicle. First approached Daniel Dolan. Identified himself off duty. Daniel was carrying his weapon, Glock pistol holstered outside his pants. Daniel directed me to the scene of the individual involved. Was seated on a guardrail. Let's just say for a second that this 18-year-old kid died. Let's say he died. How many of you people out there think this cop was doing a great job in a service to the community? They shot the driver's window out. State police arrived. I stayed with it till I then secured the weapon on my patrol car. It was locked. I later retrieved the weapon from lock, turned it over to State Police Lieutenant Ken. Oh, that's why Lieutenant was there. Take the gun. Perfect. Major Tillman. Then our major. We had a major and 4 lieutenants, 14 captains, corporal, sergeant. Damn. Investigation is ongoing. Okay. Major Tillman was off duty and contacted by Chief Ramsey, relevant to an off-duty shooting at a police department. Upon Tillman's arrival, now we have a major on scene. 4 members, Rhode Island. He continued off-duty police officer. He advised the operated vehicle. Andrews then pointed at the white truck with a flatbed. Due to the heavy traffic, they were not arrested, only seated for safety. What's this? Sergeant Andrews was locked in a marked patrol unit. Andrews examined. There were 2 passenger vehicles that were seated in a patrol car. Okay, so they put the 2 brothers that weren't shot in the patrol car, detained them. They were not arrested. Now, when they're detained, I bet you there was a recording going on what they talked about. We'll see if that's part of the thing. If they were smart, anytime I put someone in a vehicle, I always started a recorder. Traffic barricades. The black Audi was secured. Tillman was advised. Shell casing. Attorney General's protocol. Rhode Island officer involved shooting or in custody death. Tillman approach. Man, it's cloudy outside. It got really dark and it's kind of raining a little bit. It was sunny and now it's going down. I'm sitting here yawning, drinking my coffee. What time is it here? It's about 9:42 here in the morning. Approach. Daniel Tillman introduced himself. What happened? Dolan explained the following as he spoke. He got off work. School resource officer was driving home. Exit 7 black Audi passed him. Estimated to be 100, 110. The Audi then passed 2 other cars on the breakdown lane. Dolan exited that base of the operation of the vehicle. That based on the operation of the vehicle, he believed the vehicle must have been used in a crime and was fleeing the police. He looked around. Why didn't he call 911 and say, are you guys looking? I mean, I've done that before. See a car driving like a maniac, grab a plate, call 911, say, hey, man, I'm off duty. Some car just passed me. Here's a description. It's occupied by this. And here's partial plate. You guys looking for him. He's westbound on I-80 heading towards Sacramento, whatever. Or westbound I-80 heading to San Francisco, whatever. I would just say that, and then the unit would be, oh, we don't have anything going on. We don't know. Okay, I'll report it as a reckless driver. And we'd move on about our day. That's what the cop could have, should have done. Instead, he wanted to chase him and shoot somebody, jump in front of the car and claim fear. Been used in a crime or was fleeing. He did not see police overhead lights, so he kept driving at a regular speed. Bull freaking shit. This is a flat out lie. Anybody that believes that this officer continued at a regular rate of speed and suddenly appeared in the same parking lot as a car that was going 100 miles an hour, you're a freaking idiot. Okay? You need to go have another donut with sprinkles, because your shit ain't working right. He further explained that when he took exit 6, he saw the vehicle ahead of him. He saw it turn into Wicked Foods. Dolan stated he exited the truck, walked over to the vehicle with his badge in his hand. His driver looked at Mo and mouthed no, began to drive away. Dolan stated he held his badge up, told the driver to stop. The driver did not stop. So he then got in front of the vehicle. This is a statement from the cop. I got in front of the vehicle. Well, you weren't in fear of your life, and that's pretty stupid. You would think that getting in front of a vehicle, most people would think, I don't want to get run over. I'm not going to get in front of the vehicle. No, not police officers. They're smart. They get in front of vehicles so they can claim fear of my life and shoot you. The driver did not stop. Dolan thought he was going to be run over. Of course he did. So he fired the vehicle. Yeah, he thought he was going to be run over because he got to the side of the car, the driver's door, where he drew his gun and had time to say, I'm going to shoot you, and then shot. And he was in fear of his life when he was on the side of the car telling the guy that he's going to get shot. Well, of course he was fearful. Very happy. Rick, these guys are heroes. Happens very fast. Very dangerous job, Rick. You don't understand. You should get out there and try it. Okay, whatever. Freaking idiots. The vehicle continued pulled over, still located. Tillman asked Dolan, explained if he entered the vehicle, pulled him behind him. He had shot someone, gave location. Dolan is still standing outside of his truck. Major Tillman remained on scene. Alrighty. Look, I'm pretty sure I've got a good idea, Exhibit 9, on what the hell's kind of going on and who's doing what. You're always going to get inconsistent statements on these things. Narrative. Who's this from? Coventry Police Department. Another police agency, government. Man, we just can't have enough government agencies showing up. Upon arrival, I've noted eastbound lane. I then observed a white truck later to visit, a white t-shirt wrapped around his arm. Shortly after Greenwich police showed up, 821 patrols responded to regroupers. Upon arrival, 2 male passengers of Black Ollie were involved in the incident. I verified they were not injured, physically hurt. The Black Ollie was located. 21, I was relieved on my post by trooper number 27 that showed up and returned to the town. Patrols responded to Gooseneck. I observed an Audi. I was later asked to stay with the operator of the Ford truck that would be with the cop, which was involved in the incident. Got more personnel on scene, ordered to become investigation. A start time later, officers from State Highway will leave me and continue the investigation. Okay. Approximately 27 hours, dispatch advised via radio, spirits. Upon arrival at scene, I saw Sergeant Andrews offering. Sergeant Andrews advised subject shot being treated. Okay. At one point, Major Tillman arrived on scene. Oh, hang on, we're getting some beer here stuff here. Let's talk about the beer. It was requested I assist in taking a few photographs of the cell casing before I came too dark to do so. Officer Poland also pulled out a roll of film. Put a roll of film on a crime scene? They're still using film on crime scenes? We got digital cameras out there and they're still using film? No shit. To prevent it from rolling away, I then utilized my department-issued Nikon, took photos of the ejected 40 federal cap round. Appeared to have been run over by a vehicle at some point. My attention was then brought over to the tire track at the edge of Wikipedia, which possibly from the victim vehicle leaving the parking lot. At some point, Major Tillman arrived on scene assisted, taking photographs of the vehicle involved. I first responded to the passenger focused on the shattered driver's window. So it was shattered. So how did he know it appeared to be shot out? How did he know it wasn't hit with a rock? Remember I talked about that earlier? when the guy goes, I approached the vehicle and it appeared to be consistent with a window that was shot out. No, you don't know that. You don't know if it was broke. I mean, I could have thrown a rock. How do you know it was shot out? You jumped to that conclusion and put it in a report. But anyway, shattered driver's side window. There was blood present on the driver's seat. I did not intervene or disturb anything. I then photographed the vehicle. Present with me, we did a cursory check of the interior of the vehicle for firearms. As we doing so, we located a 6-pack of Dogfish beer. So somehow it looks like they switched vehicles, because where the beer was at was not. We located a 6-pack of Dogfish beer with 1 bottle open and halfway consumed. Oh, it's a sip, but it's halfway consumed. Also observed was a leather in the waistband holster and a firearm. Then Sergeant Anderson advised us to stop until the arrival. Man, the inconsistencies on the cop part is growing each little statement. See, I would be keeping a list while I was doing or reviewing this report. I would be keeping a list and writing down every time I had questions that didn't make sense, every time I had follow-up questions, and every time I found something that was inconsistent with the officer's statement or anyone's statement. I'm looking for inconsistencies. Being treated. Let's see here. 2 meals of ice. I asked them to remain in front of the pizza parlor and take a seat opposite sides of the business and not to discuss. Good job. Whoever did this, good job. They agreed to do so. I just coughed up a freaking nut or something. Hang on, let me try to eat something and clear this up. All right, I think I got cleared up. 2 males advised they've been witness to the incident, provide a statement. Back to the sedan. I will put a link to this. I'll upload this report to my website, and I'll put a link to it in my video description. So if you want to read this yourself, I think I'm gone 52 minutes. I already did an hour on this. Let me try to zip through some of this shit. Witness statement. I'm sorry. Union FOB. Oh, this is the question and answer. Which day? Oh, okay. This looks pretty good. Yeah. Yes. Can you tell me about that? I served for probably Marines, from January through 14 in the Marine Corps. I served for I don't know what that is. What's your job, Marines? Communications as well as an armorer. You're a communicator? Did they teach you that in Marines, to jump in front of cars and then not worry about getting run over? And then if you did, you could just shoot somebody? What was your shift today? Okay, first thing I did, I went to the liquor store and I got, this is a good, because this looks like a transcript of what he said. So they took this from a recording. First thing I did, I went to the liquor store, got a 6-pack of beer. And this incident began somewhere. It began somewhere when you got involved. Around 6 or 7, exit 6 or 7 on 95. I was traveling on the right lane. Audi passed me at a high rate of speed. I was able to observe that it had black Audi rings and the number FZ when it went by me. Couldn't have been going that fast if you saw that on it. This was significant to me because I lead a high-speed pursuit with the police. Why? And I tried to obtain information. Look back, there was no pursuit, so I continued driving. Sure you did. You didn't speed or anything. You just continued driving. Happened up on a vehicle at the same time it entered the parking lot, even though it was driving 110, 125, depending on who you believe. I could see that it looked like the same vehicle. As I got a little closer, I was able to verify. You weren't verifying shit. You were swooping up on that vehicle, dude. I was able to verify what I saw driving by me. I failed to mention that the vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed went into the breakdown lane. Oh, that was an afterthought, huh? The breakdown lane is the right-hand lane, passing multiple vehicles, driving erratically. How come nobody called 911? Because there's no 911 reports except for you, the person that shot the dude. So that's why it drew my attention to the car. So I got off the highway, exited 6. I saw the vehicle. It pulled in. You were following and chasing it, dude. Quit lying. I pulled on the parking lot and I pulled into that parking lot to speak to the operator. Sure you did. I exited my car, displayed my badge. Which on my belt, I removed it from my belt. I showed it to him, showed the operator the vehicle, and told the operator to stop. At that time, he shook his head no. And what I believed he said, I was trying to read his lips. I couldn't hear him. Couldn't hear him because you were too busy screaming. He backed the vehicle away. At that time, I stepped in front of the vehicle. Key statement for setting up a deadly force situation. Cops have learned that if I step in front of a vehicle, I can now shoot you if you drive forward. They are setting up legalized killing and nobody's calling them on it. It's just freaking outrageous. Again, displayed my badge. Put my other hand up to stop. The vehicle continued forward. At that time, I believed that the vehicle was going to strike me. I was so fearful. I removed my firearm from my holster and I fired one shot. That's inconsistent. How the hell did you get in front and fear to the side and be able to say, I'm going to shoot you, and then draw your gun while you're on the side of it? We had numerous witness people say you were on the side of the car when you drew your gun. You were not in front when you drew your gun. I removed my firearm. This guy's credibility's fucked. See, the problem is he's given a statement, now he's being charged, so he's not going to be able to take a stand in his own defense. Because if he takes a stand and says one thing different than this, they can impeach him. So he's not going to take the stand because he made too many freaking errors in his lies. I got in the vehicle. I was unsure if the vehicle saw me coming up the road. Exited the vehicle. I was wearing my white sweatshirt. I was able to see red on his left arm. At that time, I knew I had struck him in the left arm. He approached me in a non-confrontational. I like the way he says he approached him in a non-confrontational. At what point was he confrontational? When he was trying to get away from you because you were screaming in the middle of freaking road, civilian clothes, waving a gun and a badge? Is that when he was confrontational? I like that he says he was non-confrontational at this point. No shit, you just shot him. He didn't want you to kill him. Okay, going back. So when you left work headquarters at Satellite Cases. So I left from the substation, Boulevard, took the intersection, okay? You said you went to the liquor store, is that correct? Yeah. And which liquor store was that? I know it's on Summer Street. To tell the truth, I can't think of the name of it. Drive-through? I'm not sure. You don't know whether you went through the drive-through of a liquor store or not? Are you freaking kidding me? Now, a lot of people think that's crazy. They got drive-through. We have liquor stores drive-throughs here in Texas, too. You pull up to a drive-through window. You say, I want a case of beer or I want this liquor or whatever, and they bring it to you, and you pay, and you don't have to get out of your car. So, you know, shit. We have gun stores with drive-throughs here in Texas. Let's see. Okay, so approximately, is that correct? Yes. And what did you purchase? I got a 6-pack. Well, how come there was 5 empty beer containers in your car? I got a 6-pack of beer. All right, did you consume any of that? At what point? Oh, when crooks answer a question with a question, you got an issue. All right, did you consume any of that? At what point? Prior to. Yes. I had opened it and I took a sip from the bottle. Okay. Question. Okay. Answer. Yes. That was a question? Okay is a question now? All right, whatever. All right. So you were driving. You take the highway. Yes. See, here's where it was said, when you're driving, are you still taking a sip? What did you do with the beer? Why did you open it and take a sip? Did you put the full beer on a counter? Because the beer we found in your car was only half full. This is how you do an investigation, not these softball questions. So you're driving. Let's just change. Let's get away from the beer talk because that can lead us nowhere good. Yeah, that's right. I can state definitely, but it was approximately. I can't state definitely, but it was approximately. That's for location. What was the first thing that you observed and got your attention? A flash of a black going by me. It wasn't a flash because you said you read FX and you knew it was an Audi. Couldn't have been that much of a flash. Okay, what was your first thought in your mind? My first thought was it looks like he's running from the police. Every car that speeds is running from the police. This shows the mindset of this cop. Okay, why did you think that? Good question. I've been in police pursuits, and his driving was consistent. Just appeared to be irresponsible, just doing anything to get away. That's a good type of mentality. Okay, so after you make this initial observation, how long do you observe the vehicle at that point? I don't know how long, but I watched it go around 2 separate cars in a breakdown lane. Well, earlier I thought you said it went down several cars. Was it several or was it 2? Inconsistent statements. This should have been caught. Okay, so you have a visual. Did you have a visual the entire time? No. Really? Did you attempt to catch the vehicle? No. Flat out lie. If you lose sight of a vehicle going 110 and you ain't chasing it or trying to catch it, you are not going to end up at a parking lot at the same time as that vehicle. That just ain't going to happen, people. I don't know how many people believe that shit. Did you have any verbal, any type of exchange with the vehicle whatsoever? No. So you stated that you then got off the highway. Is that correct? Yes. What exit did you take? 6. Why did you take exit 6? That's the exit I take each day to go home. Okay. Well, that's good. If that's his normal exit and he normally takes it, that kind of helps that he might run into the guy. I'm okay with that. That kind of helps a little bit. And so you get off exit, and the fact that his wife drives by the scene with her 3 kids, you know, that they didn't know dad was going to be charged with a crime later for being an idiot, but they drive by, which again backs up they probably live in the area, and this can be confirmed. You would basically, to confirm whether he's telling me the truth, I'd look at his address, I'd get his address, I'd put it on a map and say, is this the exit I would take if I was going to this exit? Yeah. Okay, then he's probably telling the truth. Okay, I can confirm that part as he's being truthful. So you exit the scene traveling Route 3, correct. And you're heading which direction? Heading north. Okay, then what happens? As I got off the highway, that's when I observed the vehicle that I'd seen driving erratically. Well, a minute ago you said the vehicle was a blur. Then you said you saw it was an Audi FX, and now you suddenly recognize it as the vehicle that was speeding. Inconsistencies. And where did you see it? I saw it approximately 100, 250 yards in front of me. Man, 250 yards in front of you, you can identify a vehicle as the vehicle that you earlier said was a flash and was driving at a high rate of speed. Wow, that's pretty good. This cop's got like freaking Superman. Along with his Superman cape, he's got super eye vision shit also. So, it's still moving on Route 3, yes. And what do you think at this point? I'm thinking I needed to stop and talk to this guy to prevent him from possibly injuring somebody. That's not what you were thinking, dude. You were thinking I'm going to be hero cop, flash my badge, and give this guy a piece of my mind for going so fast. You were pissed off because you weren't in a marked unit. You could pull him over because you're working as a school resource officer. You're not allowed to have a marked car. You were pissed, and your statements is getting more and more bullshit as more and more you talk, which is probably why you got charged. What did you observe the vehicle do next? The vehicle took a right-hand turn into the parking lot. Okay, and what did you do next? I pulled my truck in the parking lot. You raced your car in the parking lot and almost hit the damn car and blocked him. That you did not pull your car in. As I was doing that, what's going through your mind? Tell me what you were thinking. Good question. I'm unsure of my state of mind. Oh, good answer. If he's intoxicated, oh, I got to set up my fear. So this is what, I'm unsure of my state of mind because I'm worried, I'm fearful, I'm scared. I don't know if he's intoxicated, if he's running from something, if somebody's following him. Yes, somebody was following him, a crazy-ass cop with a gun and a badge. So I wanted to speak to him and ask his story. It's none of your fucking business. You're off duty. Call 911 and stay the fuck out of it. You wanted to be a hero cop and challenge this dude and set up a shooting and jump in front of his car and now claim fear of your life. And that's why I hope your ass goes to prison. How about that? Okay, prior to this point, have you made any phone calls to the police or anything? No, I did not. Really? Wow. So you're just going to make a stop on a car with 3 people that you don't know if they're armed or criminal, that you're saying you think they are criminals. You're going to get out without a bulletproof vest, without a uniform, without a radio, without backup, and without calling 911. You're going to get out and confront them with your gun in your holster and then tell me you were scared and you thought they were engaged in criminal activity and you decided to do this? That's bullshit. It's inconsistent. He knew they were kids. He wanted to be a tough guy. He wasn't scared, or he'd had his gun out when he got out of the damn car because there's 3 people in the car. How many times have you seen cops approach 3 people in a car they think commit a crime? Their guns out, their hands on their gun. This guy's off duty with no vest, no radio, no backup, and hasn't called 911. And he's claiming he's scared and he's worried. Bullshit. Okay, so you pull in a parking lot. Can you describe me how you positioned your vehicle? I positioned my vehicle slightly to the left of his. I believe my right passenger bumper was a little bit closer to his left driver's door. He boxed that car in and tried to stop the car from moving. That was not a simple, I'm just parking in a parking lot. Anybody can see that, and it draws away from this cop's credibility. We weren't parallel. I was trying to say it's more kind of an angle. You were trying to block him in. Just say it and quit trying to bullshit. Okay, so you weren't directly behind the vehicle. No. So as you pulled in the parking lot, you get out of your truck, correct? Yes. What happens at this point? At this point, I walked around to the front of the vehicle and stood in front of his vehicle, blocking his path, putting myself in danger, so if he pulled forward, I could pull my gun and shoot him. But when that didn't work, he backed away. So then I chased him, and I got in front of his vehicle again, because I knew he was trying to drive forward. And that way I set up the shooting. So I tried to set up the shooting in the parking lot, but the stupid, pesky citizen backed away from me. So I knew I really couldn't shoot him because he's backing away. So then I chased him and got in front of his vehicle again. That's exactly what happened, people. I don't need a statement to tell me that. I stood in front of his vehicle displaying my badge I had attached to my belt. I removed it from my left hand, held it so he could see it, and I used my other hand, told him to stop. Putting up the universal sign for stop of just a flat palm. Are you kidding me? This cop's saying he's trying to use universal language on this guy by putting his palm up? Dude, really? This guy's been a school resource officer too long and shit. I use my universal sign for stop. Just like a woman should do if a man makes an advanced kissing motion. Put your hand up and yell, stop. It's the universal sign. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, what did you do next? When you were saying to him, that's all I said was stop. So you didn't identify yourself as police. You didn't tell him you want to talk to him. You didn't say anything. You're just a crazy man jumping out in front of him, telling him to stop. That's reasonable. Yeah, that's reasonable. Where was your firearm this way? On my hip. Okay, so at this point, has your firearm been displayed? No. Bullshit. It was blowing. He probably put his hand back so they could see the gun. I don't believe it wasn't displayed at all. I think that's another lie. I'll have to go back and watch a video. Okay, so you're in front of him. You have your badge out. And did you verbalize the word stop? I verbalized stopped, meaning he said stop. And you displayed a universal sign for stop holding. Oh my God, you guys are killing me. Universals. I've never in a police report in my life heard somebody say, I used the universal sign for stop by holding my flat palm up in an upright position with my arm extended. Jesus Christ. Okay. What's going on inside the car? What do you observe? This guy's not a really good interview because you're asking multiple questions. What do you observe inside the car? Would have been fine. It's an open-ended question. Let him explain what he saw. What do you observe? Okay, so there's your open-ended question. Either one of those were done. He said them both. Okay. Rick, why are you picking on the poor trooper? He only had 4 captains and a sergeant, a lieutenant, a major, and a bunch of corporals to help him. Okay, whatever. At first, I told the operator to stop. He looked at me and shook his head. And I read his lips. He just said no. Could you see any other occupants in the vehicle? I saw 2 other occupants. Oh, okay. And what were they doing? I was not watching them. So you weren't scared of them, or you didn't think they were committing crime, and you didn't think they were running for the police. Because you got 3 people who you thought were committing crime, and now you're not even looking at the other passengers. You're just talking to the driver because that's who you're pissed at. That's who you're focused on. That's who you want to confront and give them a piece of your mind for passing you. That's what's going on here, people. This case, these guys can get eat up in this case. Civil and criminal. I was not watching them at the time. I cannot tell you. Okay, so what happened next? He says no, and he begins to back away. Okay, then what'd you do? So I, again, stepped in front of the vehicle. I again stepped in front of the vehicle twice because the first time he didn't drive forward, which didn't allow me to shoot him. So if I get in front of his vehicle again, now if he goes forward, I'll be able to shoot him and it'll be justified. Freaking outrageous. Cops are literally just thinking this when they go out to work. Remember, if anybody pissed you off, just get in front of the vehicle. If they move forward, you can shoot them and it'll be justified. I did the exact same thing. I put my badge up and told him to stop. Now, see, my question would have been, okay, When he tried to pull away the first time, why did you get in front of his vehicle then? Weren't you concerned that he was going to run you over? That would have been my question. No, I wasn't concerned. Why? Yes, I was concerned. Why did you get in front of the vehicle if you were? That would be a reasonable interview on this. That's not what's happening here. I again stepped in front of the vehicle. I did the exact same, put my hands up. Vehicle was backing away initially, directly in front of me, correct? Yes. Was it directly to your back? To my back would be Wicked Pete, correct? Okay, that's correct. And the vehicle backs up. Yeah. Does it drive straight back into the roadway or does it change direction? So he's kind of leading. That's a leading. He should have just said to drive straight to the back way and let him explain. Instead, he kind of leads him. Does it change direction or does it turn at all? All right. Well, I guess he's asking three things. Okay, I'll be okay with that question. I like, when I'm interviewing, I like opening questions unless I'm trying, think something's wrong, then I want to close. A closed-ended question is answered yes or no. Did you get in front of the vehicle? Yes or no. Were you scared when you were in front of the vehicle? Yes or no. What was your thought process when you got in front of the vehicle? That's not yes or no. That's an open-ended. Open-ended questions solicit more information. Yes or no questions solicit whether you're true or criminal or I'm making good points. So this guy isn't really, most of his questions aren't really trying to get to the bottom of this. He's just kind of going through the motions. Basically, he watched the video and he's trying to get this guy to explain the video. No, he would have cut the wheel to the right and backed up at an angle. Okay. In order to position in front of the vehicle towards the roadway. See, and the guy's also interrupting him a lot. He's not letting him answer. See, these questions, at first, I just thought they were doing it, but every time the officer speaks, they put it as a question. Maybe that Q means questioner, and this means the guy answering. But he keeps interrupting before he lets him finish the question. Not good investigative techniques. You don't want to do that. Question. And he backs up. What do you do? Okay, that's a good question. What do you do? Open-ended. I move to my right. I step in front of the vehicle. Why did you step in front of the vehicle? Is the follow-up question. It should be. Okay, so he backs up, and then does he stop at any point when he's backing? No, not. I don't believe he came to a dead stop. Okay. What exactly does he do? He backed up, put it in a drive, and began driving forward towards me. Just like when I was in front of him before, he put it in reverse and drove away from me. But when he drives away, I know I can't shoot him because I can't claim in danger. So that's why I chased him and jumped in front of his car for a second time. And then he did exactly what I wanted him to do. He drove forward, which gave me the ability to shoot him. And that's when I shot him. That's what this guy's statement should be, because that's exactly what happened, people. Okay, and the transition happened. He's backing up from your initial. Then this interviewer is really bad. Yes. And then he transitions to driving forward. You say that you moved and basically get in front of him again. Is that correct? So before he did, he said correct. Correct. How do you describe your position and orientation to the pizza place? Irrelevant. That's not the point. We got video evidence of that. I want to know this guy's mindset on why the hell is he jumping in front of vehicles when he knows the vehicle's trying to get away from him? Why is he moving in front of it? That's what I want to know. And that's not what these cops are getting to the bottom to, because that hurts the cop's case. I was standing directly in front of a vehicle and road to my back. Okay, the road's to your back. Yes. And what's to your left and right? To your left would be my truck. To the right, remainder of the parking lot. Okay. So at this point, is the car completely 180 degrees? This guy talks like a freaking trooper, man. Everything's got to be degrees and angles and positions so he can reconstruct a crime scene instead of getting to the criminal act of this cop shooting an unarmed kid. Yeah, it was 180. Okay, it turned around. Yeah, it's facing Route 3. Correct. Oh, yeah. I got it. Oh, so you're saying it's back on Route 3. Yeah, okay. At that point, what are you doing? Describe what you're doing. I'm telling him to stop. I'm walking backwards slowly. If you're walking backwards slowly, that means you had the opportunity and ability to walk sideways and get out in front of the vehicle. Yeah, but Rick, if I moved out in front of the vehicle, then I couldn't shoot him. The reason I'm walking slowly backwards and staying in front of the vehicle is so it justifies the shooting. If I move from in front of the vehicle, then I can't shoot him. Freaking outrageous what cops are doing. Towards the roadway. Yes. And where was your badge at this point? Still in my left hand. Had you displayed your firearm at this point? No. Okay, what was going through your mind? Finally, mindset. We get to freaking what's in your freaking mind. That if he decides to drive forward, he's going to take me out into the roadway with him and kill me. That's your mindset. That's all cops' mindset. See, his mindset to me reasonable would be like, if he drives forward, he's going to hit me. I should move. Maybe I should not be in front of this car. This kid's trying to go away. Maybe I shouldn't put myself in a position to get run over and then I don't have to shoot him. See, none of that shit is being put out. Here's the mindset of your officers. If he drives forward, he's going to take me out and kill me. Therefore, I must kill him first. It's all about kill. Freaking ridiculous. Okay, approximately how far did you say the car was from you at this point? Approximately 3 or 4 feet. In other words, if I'm interviewing, in other words, plenty of time and room for you to move to the side of the one car. You didn't have to be in front of the car, correct? No. You chose to be in front of the car. Yes. Why did you choose to be in front of the car? Because I wanted him to stop. Why did you want him to stop and risk your life if you thought he was engaged in a criminal and he was dangerous? Because I wanted him to stop. But why would you get in front of a car that you thought was dangerous and might hurt you? Why would you do that? Because I wanted him to stop. See, that would be easy to lock this guy. I could interview these cops and lock their ass down to where they sound like a freaking idiot if I was interviewing them like I should. But cops aren't interviewing cops like they should. It's called softballing. It's calling talking a cop through. It's called helping your brother Blue get through this interview without looking too bad. It's bullshit. Okay, approximately how far did you get from lane of travel on the road? I'm unsure. Could you see the roadway at all? No. I thought you said you were worried about getting pushed in a roadway with cars. Now you're saying you can't see it? Inconsistent. Could you see what was going on behind you? No. Could you hear anything? No, I didn't hear anything. I was yelling and screaming because I was pissed. See, could you hear anything? No. Why couldn't you hear anything? You couldn't hear the car running? You didn't hear traffic? You didn't hear the door at the pizza place? No witnesses yell? You didn't hear anything? No, I didn't hear anything. See, these questions, he's just letting them answer these questions with no follow-up. You said you travel that roadway often. Yes. How would you describe that road? Oh, so now we're going to set him up. Busy. Oh, so there was threats to your safety. It's reasonable that you were fearful because now you know the road's busy. This cop is walking this cop in to help him justify the shoot. This is a bullshit interview. Whoever did this interview is an unethical weasel cop who is not doing a good interview. How about that? Okay, so you're standing in front of the car. The roadway is to your back. What happens next? Let me give you a softball. Let me let you tell your story. I'm not going to question all your inconsistent lies and your bullshit. I'm just going to let you tell your story. Next, the vehicle kind of driving forward, and I made the decision that he was not going to stop. You made the decision to get in front of him. You made the decision to get in front of him twice. You made the decision to chase him and follow and intentionally get in his way. And he was not going to stop, and I was going to remove my firearm and fire a shot to stop him from taking me into the roadway and possibly killing me. Fear of my life. Perfect statement for fear of my life. Perfect. Officer, you said you were going to remove your firearm. We have witness statements that says you removed your firearm until you were to the side of the car. Where were you standing when you removed your firearm? Yeah, I was at the side of the car. So you didn't remove your firearm until you weren't in front of the car. Why did you still feel you were in danger in front of the car that you had to remove your firearm when you were not in front of the car when you removed your firearm? I was in fear of my life. Well, but if you had time to remove your firearm, did you say anything? Yeah, I told him I was going to shoot him. So you had time to tell him you were going to shoot him. You had time to remove your firearm. All this happened while you were on the side of the car before you fired a shot. Correct? Yes. Then where was the immediate danger to you when you shot? Well, I thought he was going to run me over. When you were in front of the car, maybe that would work. But you just said you didn't draw your gun and warned him till you were on the side of the car. How was your life in danger at the moment you fired? I was in fear of my life. I mean, it's not that hard to lock these cops down and interview. And see, the normal public will not, they don't know interviewing skills, so they read this and go, oh, look, the good officer was asking questions. Oh, that's a pretty good answer. Oh, I like that answer. Okay, let's move on. Cop must be telling the truth because they're all heroes. This is bullshit, people. This is absolute bullshit. And if I was prosecuting this guy, or if I was the defense, I might call me as a witness to say, do you think this was a good interview? Do you think the cops were trying to help my client? Do you think the cops did a good job? No, the cops were incompetent. Why were they incompetent? Because they didn't ask your clients the hard questions. What would you have asked? I would have asked this, that, and this, and that, and I think your client's lying. So the defense wouldn't put me in because it would hurt the case. But if somebody was trying to go after this cop, and this cop was charged for doing a shitty investigation and obstructing investigations for not taking a good statement, it would be very easy to get somebody who's experienced in interviewing to say, dude, you're full of shit. You gave this guy a softball argument. You didn't ask any freaking questions to get to the bottom of this. And hopefully, since they charged him, they would get someone like me to interview this cop and go, I'm not giving you softball. I'm going to give you a good interview. How many people know what would happen if I interview this cop? He's going to take the fifth. He ain't talking to me. He only talked to this softball guy because he was allowed to get his statement out on a softball manner. He wouldn't talk to me. Let me ask you a question. If I call this cop and go, hey man, we need to redo your interview because there's some questions we have, what do you think this cop's going to say? Raise your hand if you think you say, okay, I'll come down, I'll answer your question. You're a freaking idiot. This guy got a softball statement on the record. He ain't talking to nobody else. So the guy who interviewed him missed the opportunity to get critical information about his state of mind and to make this case a lot stronger for the DA to charge his cop. But the cop didn't want to make it strong. He wanted to make it weak. Bullshit. Correct. How long do you say your firearm stayed before you shot? Maybe a second and a half. Wow, that's kind of a long time, to be honest. I don't believe that, but that's a long time. A second and a half? That's a long time to display your gun before you shoot. I mean, shit, we would do 3-shot shooting drills in under a second. I mean, a second and a half's a long time. So, all right, okay, 2 seconds. Oh, now it's 2 seconds. That's even longer. So, was it a draw and instantaneous fire, or did you draw and have it pointed and there's a delay? That's a good question. There was a slight delay. Good. So you drew your gun at the passenger side door, meaning you weren't in front of the car. You delayed for 2 seconds before you shot after your gun was drawn at the passenger door. You said, I'm going to shoot you at the passenger door, yet you're saying you shot because you didn't want the car to drag you into traffic. Inconsistent statements. It's lies. It's not reasonable. There was a slight delay. Okay, so you draw your gun and you go to shoot. Where are you aiming? I'm aiming at the operator of the vehicle. Okay, how many shots you fire? 1 round. So, again, where are the follow-up questions, people? Okay, so you draw your gun, you go to shoot. Where are you aiming? I'm aiming at the operator of the vehicle. Why are you aiming at the operator of the vehicle? Did the operator of the vehicle pose a threat? Did you think he was armed? Did you think he was staring into you? Why were you aiming at the operator of the vehicle when you're standing at a passenger window? No follow-up questions. This is how you softball and bullshit a statement, people. Okay, how many shots did you fire? 1 round. Follow-up question. Why did you fire 1 round? Why didn't you fire 2 rounds? Aren't you trained to fire multiple rounds? Did you think the threat was gone after 1 round? Did you think you hit him? Why only 1 round? No follow-up questions. So this is what we call just letting the officer give a statement. Hey man, go interview this guy and get a statement. Don't do a criminal investigation. Don't ask criminals and questions that might incriminate him. Just get a statement. I mean, this interview could have been, hey dude, why don't you just tell me what happened? And let him go the whole story without interrupting him. I pulled up, I followed him, I took the exit, and then I saw him, and then I parked the car, and he tried to run me over, and I shot him. Okay, thanks for the statement. I mean, this statement would have been just as good if he had did that. I guess this way it will confuse more people, like, oh, he was trying to look like he was trying to get the truth. Yeah, bullshit. This was a softball wheezy. The round went through the driver's side window. Okay, what happened? He exited the parking lot and continued to drive northbound. Were you still in fear of your life? No, because I chased him. Why weren't you in fear of your life? Because he was driving away from me. Okay, so you were only in fear of your life when you were in front of the car, right? Right. But you shot when you were on a passenger door, right? That's how you interview somebody, people. I mean, it's just crazy. So as the vehicle's coming toward you, so this interviewer, he gets the car driving away, and now we're going back. to when the vehicle was coming at you, you make a decision to draw your pistol and shoot. That's not true. That's not what he said. He said he was at the passenger door when he drew his gun and fired. This cop's like, dude, man, you gave me a bad statement. Hang on, let me help you out. So I'm going to give you a statement. You got to agree with me. So as the vehicle is coming towards you, you make a decision to draw your pistol and shoot. Are you standing still? No, I'm moving. Oh, okay. The witness says you were standing still at the passenger side, but okay. Okay, what direction are you moving? Backwards and to my right. So he's moving to his right toward the driver's side window. Okay, why are you doing that? So he can say I'm in fear of my life. To try and get out of the vehicle, because he's in fear of his life. Okay, the weapon that you had, can you describe it? It's on, come on, dude, it's my Glock issued freaking department pistol, whatever. Okay, and what manner are you carrying it? I had it on the outside of my waistband. I don't know what you call it, a holster basically, just a black holster. Okay, the car's coming at you, you were unable to see your back, and you make the decision. Man, this cop is just freaking sitting there. Look at this question. This question is obviously a cop trying to justify the shooting. Okay, so let me get this straight. The car's coming at you. You're in fear of your life. And you think the guy's going to run you over. And suddenly, because your back's to traffic, you make a decision to shoot. Is that correct? Yes. Now, I could have reworded this question. So let me get this straight. You're on the passenger side of the car. You have time to draw your gun, pause, and say, I'm going to shoot you. But yet you're saying you're in fear of your life. Is that correct? No. See how easy it is to manipulate a question and interview people? Fire a shot. You said it goes through the passenger window. Correction. The driver's window. The driver's side window, yes. And then the vehicle travels in what direction? All right, so now we'll get away from the shooting because we don't want to talk too much on that because that can only hurt him. Who cares where he goes? The critical part of this investigation is why you shot, what you did before you shot, was the shot justified, and what caused you to shoot, and what's your frame of mind, and was your fear reasonable, what you did, was it lawful? That's the purpose of the interview. I hosted my interview, re-entered, called 911, probably 50 yard, whatever. He pulled over. Man, I wonder if this... Okay, so Exhibit 11. Parking lot. All right, look, I've gone too long. I'm an hour and 27. I did an hour on the other one. I'm getting freaking hoarse. This is pretty big. Look, I don't have to finish this report. I bet you when I see video footage or read all the witness statements, this cop's guilty as shit. But you know what? We'll see what happens. All right, hopefully you got something out of it on how to interview, how to answer questions, how the difference between open-ended and closed-ended, how you do follow-up questions, how you can tell when an interviewer is actually trying to get to the truth, and how an interview is giving softball and trying to help the person he's interviewing. Now, I'll be honest, I've helped witnesses or victims of crimes give interview statements. If a victim gives an interview statement, I'm going to help them because they're nervous and they were a victim to try and not make them to where they get in trouble. I'm not going to give them a lie, but a lot of times witnesses don't give good, clear statements, especially victims, because they're nervous. So sometimes you got to talk them in and get the information out of it and kind of walk them to it's not the lie. You got to walk them to the truth. You just want them to articulate the truth so it's reasonable versus them saying, you know, a witness, if this was a civilian person, why'd you shoot? Man, I was scared. I just shot him. Well, what happened? I don't know. I was just scared. So then I would want to walk them through. All right, what did you do this? Let's go through this one by one. Let me make this interview was talking the cop through. I call bullshit, and the cop who did the interview on the cop, he's a freaking little weasel. He's either very incompetent and too stupid to do a good interview and shouldn't have been interviewing, or he was totally helping this cop and didn't want to incriminate this cop. So he didn't ask the hard questions. Well, in that there, y'all have a good one.